The Trump administration must explain two things by July 31st. Why the Kennedy Center remains covered by a massive tarp, and what is he covering up, and what concrete plans they have to keep the building open. Trump began his takeover of the Kennedy Center by handpicking his sycophants to the Board of Trustees to rubber stamp his plans. By law, certain members of Congress serve as ex-official members of the Kennedy Center's Board of Trustees, like myself. Trump then illegally stripped ex-officio members of their rights to vote in board meetings. During the December 18th, 2025 virtual meeting, I was muted, silencing me when the vote occurred to change the name. On December 22nd, 2025, I filed the lawsuit, Beatty v. Trump, in federal court to remind the president that there are consequences for unlawful actions and that one cannot simply rewrite federal law. I appeared before the Federal District Court Judge Christopher R. Cooper on March 12th. Might add, that was my birthday, 2026. On May 30th, 2026, Judge Cooper ruled that the Kennedy Center trustees acted unlawfully when they renamed the institution to include Donald Trump's name. Further, the court reaffirmed separation of powers by stating that only Congress has the authority to rename the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Judge Cooper also ordered every reference to Trump's name to be removed, including the website, branding, transportation, and signage on the front of the building. On June 12, 2026, the day the sign was ordered to come down, I stood with hundreds of people at the Kennedy Center for approximately 11 hours as scaffolding and a tarp were erected. At 4 a.m. on Saturday, June 13th, I witnessed the name had been removed. In addition to the name being removed, Judge Cooper also blocked Trump's planned two-year shutdown of the Kennedy Center. Justice prevailed. No longer silenced, no longer prevented from attending and voting in board meetings, the name had come down. The Kennedy Center is the home to the National Symphony Orchestra and thousands of artists, performers, students, advisors, and families like many here today, especially Mr. Ben Folds. Once it became apparent that the Trump and the board's unlawful actions led artists to canceling and refusing to play the Kennedy Center, it appeared that Trump decided that his own personal ego outweighed the thousands of artists and the workers who rely on the Kennedy Center for their livelihood. The court's most recent ruling made clear that the Trump administration must explain two things by July 31st. Why the Kennedy Center remains covered by a massive tarp, and what is he covering up, and what concrete plans they have to keep the building open.
I want to be very clear about what just happened here. We just watched Congresswoman Batty lay out exactly how Donald Trump tried to rewrite history, seize a public institution, and silence dissent. Let's pull back the lens. During the Obama and Biden administrations, the Kennedy Center was revered as the premier cultural institution in the country. It is the only living memorial to President John F. Kennedy. It is the home to the National Symphony Orchestra. But now, Trump, a twice-impeached, ego-obsessed grifter, decided that his name belonged on the building. He handpicked his bootlickers to the Board of Trustees to rubber stamp his plans. Oh great, just trust him. Don't even question it. Just let him rewrite federal law and slap his name on whatever he wants. But look at the fact sheet just gave us. On December 18, 2025, a sitting United States Congresswoman was literally muted during a virtual board meeting so they could illegally vote to change the name. Muted. Silenced. Because Donald Trump and his MAGA enablers cannot handle a single ounce of accountability. Disgusting. But here is why this isn't just a typical Tuesday scandal. Stay with me, because the legal consequence coming out of this courtroom should terrify them. Congresswoman Batty didn't just roll over. She filed Batty versus Trump in federal court. And on May 30th, 2026, a federal judge looked at this and ruled that Trump's trustees acted unlawfully. The court reaffirmed the separation of powers, making it clear that only Congress has the authority to rename the John F. Kennedy Center. Justice prevailed. But did Trump back down? No. Look at what they did next. When the court ordered the name to come down, Trump threw a massive temper tantrum. He covered the entire building in scaffolding and a giant tarp. He decided that his own personal ego outweighed the thousands of artists, performers, and workers who rely on that building for their livelihood. When artists started canceling their shows to protest his unlawful takeover, did Trump care about the workers? No. He decided to just hide the building like it's a crime scene. Red states, blue states. Not everything is Democrat, Republican. This is about the rule of law. The court has now ordered the Trump administration to explain by July 31st why that tarp is still up. What is he covering up? What concrete plans do they have to keep the building open? They don't have a plan. Because to Trump, this was never about the arts. It was about petty acts of defiance. Ego over law. Ego over the Constitution. Ego over the working families who just want to afford their groceries. Hit subscribe to hold them accountable. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We are just getting started.